Hello. Sora here, back again. Hold on, I want to do something actually. I want to hit the menu, my TV. Oh, and reduce that backlight. Actually, let's just turn that at once. Okay, that should be fine. Hello, good evening everyone, or good morning. Welcome everyone to one of my late night streams. Aw, shoot, I thought I had cleaned everything in the room. Apparently not, because this pair of pants is still on my bed. Let me just take care of that real quick. Okay, so we just beat the game. I put that up as a video actually, but that video is like 3.5 hours long, and most of it is just me meandering. So I wanted to record it just for posterity, and also it just ends because at some point the game starts recording for you. So I just stopped streaming. So I kind of just said, whatever. And, so it's not the complete ending, even. It's all the way up to the final boss. I put that video on private, so I'm gonna come back to it one day and edit that down to at least an hour, maybe, because there's a lot of downtime, a lot of me meandering around. So today, is gonna be one of our first post-game content videos. And I also wanted to just talk about my initial impressions towards the end of the game, and just my thoughts in general, honestly. So I put it in the title, but in case you couldn't tell, we're gonna be talking about spoilers. So if you haven't finished Kingdom Hearts 3, we are gonna be talking about full ending spoilers at this point. I've already watched the secret ending. I've already watched the special epilogue. Everything. We're gonna, not saying it's a guarantee that we're gonna talk about all of it. But I wanted to just record my thoughts on this, and then later on, I'm gonna try to, if I get the chance, I'm gonna try to, organize my thoughts into a more, complex video with more effort put into it than a stream. But just to set the background of the stream, what we're gonna try to do now is get the materials needed for the ultimate weapon. But as far as story content goes, we might talk about story spoilers, so just be mindful of that. If you're watching this stream, you're being warned.
We find some ingredients around here.
You're being warned that there will be spoilers. Actually, since we're gonna do that, let's put this on. Yeah, that's it. Just full spoilers from here on out. I already know everything in the game. I don't care about the secret boss or anything else that comes after that. So just, you know, just letting you know. Can I put the Gourmand's ring? And will that count? Oh. There you go. But yes, so I heard that one of the items is straight up just in here. So well, there you go, prize postcard. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try and see if I can if I can get a bunch. because one of the here, let's do this. I'll show you the synthesis list for the ultimate weapon is 7 orichalcum pluses, 2 wellspring crystals, 2 lucid crystals, and 2 pulsing crystals. As far as wellspring crystals go, I was shown where to find those. I have 1 pulsing crystal, but I don't know where to get those. And so, like always, what you're really worried about is the orichalcum, or the orichalcum plus 2. They start using the orichalcum plus. So here's the annoying thing is, most of them are tied to chests and bosses, but there's this one in particular that is tied to the stupid postcard here. So if you play Kingdom Hearts 3 and wondered where you were getting these postcards, also I don't know what this is for. I never found out what that's for. And can I get rid of it? I can't get rid of it. Let me show you. Postcard, no? Prize postcard. You get these randomly for whenever you buy things at a Moogle shop. And what you're supposed to do is go to Twilight Town and put the postcard here, and you'll get a random prize. Now, by random, I mean you could get some AP boosts, some materials, or you could get one of the 7 orichalcum pluses that you needed, which is tied directly to the RNG of the frickin' mailbox. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try and gather like as much as I can of the postcards, maybe like 5 or something. Like a reasonable enough number. And we're gonna keep buying potions because they're the cheapest things on the store. But while we do this, I just wanted to talk about some aspects of the game that I like, some aspects of the game I didn't like. I was not a fan of the Disney worlds that were in here. That is to say that the worlds kind of felt nonsensical to me, quite honestly. I remember someone pointed out how the worlds in KH2 are chosen specifically for I'm just getting these prize postcards, huh? Sorry. When I don't really have like a script in front of me, and it's kind of hard to collect my thoughts on this. But when I say that it feels random, how many is that? 12? Sure. So I'm gonna save the game, and we're gonna use all 12 of those. And if I don't get the orichalcum plus by then, we're just gonna reload it. Sound good? I remember someone posted I don't know where I found this, but someone mentioned that the analysis of like why the worlds in KH2 were chosen as such is because of they all had a centralized theme of like loss and basically just accepting change and accepting yourself for who you are, in a sense, if that. So the game starts off and you play as Roxas, and you're trying to come to terms with the fact that you're not. Oh, there we go. This is bullshit, by the way. Sorry, I know I keep stopping myself, but this sucks. The fact that this is random. But in case anyone was wondering, this is where one of the orichalcum pluses are, and there's only one. I remember I was watching a live stream, and someone just got one postcard, put it in the thing, and just got an orichalcum. I don't think they even noticed. But anyway. Um, it's Rox is kind of coming to terms with the fact that, you know, like the life that he's leading is not real. It's a lie. It's a simulation, and accepting that, you know, his life is, it's not that it's forfeit, but that he is part of something bigger and better than this, whatever it was. And although it sucks to say that, it does tie into the theme of all the other worlds in Kingdom Hearts 2, where the very next world you can go to is the Mulan world, where it's Mulan trying to pretend to be someone that she's not in order to fit in, but later on it's found out that, you know, she's actually a girl, and they shun her for it, but then they realize, hey, it's, you know, it's the same person you were hanging out with before, it's just now you know that it's actually Mulan. And they learn to accept her for that, and they still treat her with the same amount of respect that they did before. Same thing with similarly with Beast's castle, in that the Beast is trying to, you know, he needs that rose back, and before the petals fall off, because no one would accept him because he's a horrible monster. But he learns that Belle likes him regardless of what he looks like.
Would you like to take my picture?
But the worlds here in Kingdom Hearts 3 feel a little nonsensical. I don't know how else to say that. It's just, they seem kind of chosen at random. It kind of feels like they were just chosen because they look good. You know what I mean? Where there's not a specific purpose, or like there's not a thematic line that I could draw from it. And to be fair, the game's still relatively new, so I could be wrong, and there could be an analysis made that connects the worlds and why they were chosen. But I remember an interview, a Skill Ring Plus, small boost in strength and magic. No. Maybe later. I do need it for the AP though. Someone could come back and explain why these worlds were chosen, but I remember there was an interview with Nomura and how he was he wanted Toy Story in the next game. He straight up told Disney, "I'm not making KH3 until you let me use Pixar and Toy Story." And he's been trying to put Toy Story in the game for a really long time. Before they were just like summons, but now they're an actual world, so there's like a thematic reason for them being here. But what reason that would be, I don't really know in context of the rest of the game. It just kind of seems like it kind of seems like the stories in each of the worlds are self-contained, but it's not really explained to what their connection is to the greater picture, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Whereas, again, I mentioned like how in Kingdom Hearts 2 all the worlds chosen kind of have a thematic like similarity of like loss and acceptance. The worlds here just kind of feel like they were just chosen because they were cool. Not to say that that's not a good thing. It's just, it seems a little shallow compared. It just seems a little shallow comparatively, is I guess is what I'm trying to get at. Also, a few of the world's stories in and of themselves it's a little weak. The story in Frozen and Arendelle straight up is just a rehash of the movies, which is one of the most disliked ways I have of like Kingdom Hearts trying to handle a Disney story. It's just them, you know, self-inserting themselves into movies as they occur. Like, the story is no different. It's just, you know, now you have Sora and company in the mix, and I don't understand why they keep trying to do that, because oh, hold on, my battery. Oh, my controller is dying. Gotta switch out the controller. Microphone switched and got turned into the bad one. Let me switch it back to the good one. Okay, should be fine. Okay, so like I said, the worlds in KH3 feel a little bit shallow, in that, you know, their relation to the rest of the plot just seems a little, like, non-existent. Like, they don't seem to be related to the overall arching plot of the game itself, and some of the stories within them are kind of poor. So, like, I mentioned how Kingdom of Corona and Arendelle are just a retelling of the story, and it's done poorly too. And I think I mentioned that out loud. Well, I don't think I streamed it, but I remember I was wondering that out loud, and I know for a fact I've told a few friends about it, where if you never watched Tangled, you wouldn't understand what was going on. There were just concepts that were just glossed over and not actually explained. Kind of like how Rapunzel's hair glows and it can heal people by her singing to it. You know, like they mentioned it in one cutscene, I think, but they and also just the framing of the characters, and like kind of like how Mother Gothel herself, it kind of implies that she's only evil because she was taking over she was being taken over by Marluxia, which is kind of a poor way to characterize that character, because she is just straight up evil. So to put her in a context of her being taken over and controlled by an organization member as a result, turning her evil, you know, it's kind of framed poorly. And again, also just the plot, the summarization of the plot that they use is not that great at all. Oh shoot, I didn't mean to go down here. Same thing for the Frozen world, actually. It's just, poor interpretation of the plot, and also unexplained motivations for some of the villains that show up. Like, Hans is there. Sure, we know he's the villain, but that's only because I saw the movie. And, you know, like, Frozen has had movies that's taken place after the movie has taken place. Why not have one of those, like, types of stories in the game, you know? I get that you're putting Frozen in because it's the popular thing, and it's a popular thing because of the song, so you have to put the song there. But if you want to put the song there, you have to have the story of the game. Sorry, you have to have the story of the movie, which in itself is kind of a boring thing, you know, because now you're just trying to retell the story of the movie, but you're trying to rehash it and add, you know, like Kingdom Hearts lore into it, which sometimes is a good fit, but more often than not is not, you know. I guess we can go through the worlds one by one. So that's Frozen and Kingdom of Corona, which I think are the two weakest worlds in the game. Ugh, I should have taken a picture of the materials I needed. So I have 4 Wellspring crystals from here, and I think I need one more pulsing crystal. Let's Google where I can get some pulsing crystal. I should have actually looked this up before I turned on the stream. But I just wanted to talk about my thoughts on the game. Let's see what this YouTube video tells me. Hold on, let me do this. I'm gonna try to find out what it is. Looks like you get it from the Frozen world. Okay, anyway. Toy box. I thought, sorry, I just needed to know where to find the... thing. Moving on. Toy box was, interesting that it is canonically taking place in between Toy Stories 2 and 3. I thought some of the characterization of the characters were kind of off. I feel like Buzz's paranoia was a little weird to me. He was kind of like, what do I want to say, like overly cautious for no reason, just to create some tension, I guess, which I guess was what the point of the story was to create some tension. But I feel like it just came out of nowhere, you know. But as far as the general, like, story of that world goes, I thought it was perfectly fine. I like that it kind of tied into the plot of Kingdom Hearts. I guess in a sense it really did, because if the goal of that world was to find out, like, you know, how much strain can you put on a heart before it collapses in the darkness, blah blah blah. I guess in a sense that it does tie into the plot, but not like thematically, you know. So I thought that was poor. Here, let's do this. Let's look through them. so I didn't like Kingdom of Corona or Arendelle. It's just kind of poor. I like that Hercules is here as like a staple of Kingdom Hearts, but just to get us started. I just thought that because this whole adventure was Sora trying to get the power of waking, that each world would be based around that, like some lost heart needing to be reawoken in a way, whether that be literally or figuratively or whatever, just aspects of the heart that they could have maybe gone into, but I don't feel like they did, you know. It just kind of feels like the plot in some of these worlds are kind of poor. I don't know, maybe Toy Box is like loneliness. I don't know. But yeah, as far as Olympic Coliseum goes, it just didn't feel like there was a story even there. It just felt like the tutorial world, which it was, but you know, I feel like it could have been handled better. It just doesn't feel like the story in and of itself was substantial. Like, Hades was there, I feel like, just because James Woods loves Kingdom Hearts and wants to always be in it. So you gotta get James Wood in there. But, it didn't feel like Hades was actually trying to do anything, you know. The story, again, in the world was self-contained, but the theme of it didn't feel like it fit the overarching theme of Kingdom Hearts 3, which I felt like was, I feel like, I guess that's my problem, is like I can't tell what the theme of the game is, you know? It just, it makes me feel confused, because I feel like as much as Kingdom Hearts 3 would be trying to go for a theme, I feel like it would be having a hard time due to the fact that it's building off so much, which I guess is a detriment to how long this sequel came out, you know, to the point where your big finale can't even tell its story because of how many loose ends it has to tie up, so it has to give all that away. But I feel like, I don't know, I feel like we could have done more with Kingdom Hearts worlds. Literally, there are no Kingdom Hearts worlds in this game. I guess Twilight Town and the Keyblade Graveyard, but I mean, as far as worlds go, the Keyblade Graveyard was like a hallway into the final boss, and Twilight Town is literally just 2 rooms. And the rest of it is just all Disney worlds. I feel like there was just such a heavy emphasis on Disney worlds in here. There's not a single Final Fantasy character in this game. He was not lying about that. Not a single one. I was actually thinking Noctis would show up, which is, I don't know. I get that Final Fantasy characters have never really played a huge role in the games, other than KH2 in that one fight in Hollow Bastion, but other than that, nothing really. But moving on. Monstropolis, I thought it was cool that it took place after the movie, but it was just the same plot. It's just them trying to find Boo's door so she could go home again. That's it. And you got, and Randall's there trying to kill them, you know. Except it wasn't about the story of Monsters Inc. 1, which was the whole, like, exposing the corporate or whatever. You know, I just felt like that story was a lot stronger. And this one, again, it just felt a little bit shallow. Although it was interesting that it took place after the movie, you know, and they did put their own spin to it, but it just felt like Mike and Sully are still doing the same thing. Like, they didn't evolve from their movies. They're still trying to find Boo's door and take her home. Mike even does the put that thing back where it came from, or so help me song at some point in the world, you know. San Francisco. Boy. I don't know. It didn't explain itself very well. I thought it was kind of poorly designed. Like, they don't explain why the data blocks are there. And, why there's a replica of Riku. Why the Riku replica is there, but is also within Riku. You know, I don't get that aspect of it. I don't think that was ever explained. So I didn't quite like that very much. The Caribbean, it's literally just trying to retell the story of At World's End, but in the most, heavily summarized way I could possibly think of, in that literally the game will jump to now this cutscene from the movie, now this bit, and now this bit, you know, and just ran with it. And there's like bits where they go over something really heavy, like, oh, by the way, Teodama was Calypso the whole time, and I'm like, who's Calypso, and why was it Teodama? You know, what was going on with that bit where Sora was just underwater? And like, if you watch the movie, you would know that it's because the ship turns upside down and it goes into the underworld, but they don't explain that or talk about it in the game. And I've already talked about Arendelle. I just don't like Arendelle. And the last world here is the Keyblade Graveyard, which is the final boss arena. That's it. That's all it is. I feel like a lot of these worlds, a lot of the Disney worlds, were so focused on trying to make the game look pretty that it wasn't substantial. Kingdom Hearts 3 is like a cake made by the cake boss, where it looks really nice and really pretty, but you take a bite into it and it's just a bunch of Rice Krispies and fondant. You know, where the majority of the thing, it looks gorgeous, it looks amazing. And again, like, you know, I do have favorites in this game, like as far as worlds go. I really like the Caribbean, and not just because I love pirates, it's just really good. San Francisco is really nice and interesting. It's a city setting, and there's even a day and night version of it. I like that you can walk around Monsters Incorporated, like the building. I like walking around the forest in the Kingdom of Corona, and hell, I even love the mountainside in Arendelle, which we're going to, by the way. And I like the giant toy store in Toy Story. I think that's cool how you can go into all the different places in the actual mall. It looks visually, it just looks good. But as far as like story goes, and like, you know, like, why are these here? Why these Disney worlds? You know, why return with Olympus? Why is 100 Acre Woods just one? Why is 100 Acre Woods just one setting with the same minigame 3 times? You know, it just looks good, but story-wise, it doesn't feel like it's substantial enough. And a lot of the story of the game actually takes place at the end of the game. So like, I feel like the story itself doesn't really move forward until after you finish the last Disney World and then go to the Keyblade Graveyard. What's down here? Is this just... What am I loading into?
Think the snow's deep enough?
I think it's kind of fun.
Oh, is this where it is? It just ends. Oh.
Arendelle Castle.
Whoa! We're really high up.
Where? Oh,
Let's see.
all the way down there. It was pointed out that this world was kind of boring in that you go up the mountain, then you get knocked off the mountain, you climb back up the mountain, then you get knocked off the mountain. Yeah, I get it. But I think I just like winter aesthetic a lot, so I didn't. Also, the music's really nice, so I wasn't too unhappy with it, but I do understand why people wouldn't like it. Again, substance, like, again, it looks pretty. Like, you saw how the snow was glistening on the ground right there, and how it was like shiny, and it looked good. It looked like a cartoon. It looked nice, but what actually happened in this world was just a rehash of the movie. But instead, they dumped Sora and Larxene in it. You know, there's a bit in the Tangled world where they go through the bit where Rapunzel does the "I wanna go home" and I wanna leave. No, this is awful. I should turn back. No, I'm never gonna turn back. Except it's the same. It's shot the same way like in the movie is, except now you have Sora, Donald, and Goofy just standing around, and I think it's bizarre. You know, it just they don't fit because they were never meant to be there. I don't know. But moving on to the actual Kingdom Hearts 3 story, because it happened all at the end of the game, I thought it felt a little rushed, honestly. There's a bit, like, as soon as you walk into the Keyblade Graveyard, where these are our guardians, and they all get stomped out in the beginning of the fucking, game. Or sorry, in the beginning of the world, where, you know, this is your first task as you fight Terra Xehanort. Cool. And what does he do? He immediately curb stomps the shit out of all the Guardians of Light. And it's like, are you shitting me? Collector's goals, is this all of it? Oh. Obtain every type of pulsing material. Oh, that's all of them. Well, I got all of them. But I still need a pulsing crystal from here. Anyway. So, as far as the Kingdom Hearts, specific worlds go, or its world goes, it just doesn't, it felt a bit rushed, if I'm being honest. It feels like they could've done more with it. I wouldn't have minded if the game was like 10 hours longer. If only to give us more, like, I don't know. I feel like that Terra fight, they should have let us fight it, but make him so strong that there was no way we could beat him. You know? And then go through the sequence. But don't kill everyone off. I feel like we should have seen more of it, you know? But I do understand the notion that if we did that, then what would happen is we're just gonna go back through the game anyway. And considering that there's gonna be 13 boss fights at the end of the game, there's a good chance they probably didn't want to do repeats of that, no matter how thematically appropriate it was, because it would take too long. It'd also be really infuriating. But I feel like if they design... Oh, there we go, there's our pulsing crystal. I feel like if we design the world, or sorry, if we design the end of the game in such a way that we're accounting for all of these to be real boss fights, then maybe, just maybe, they would have found a way to make it work. And rewrote it in a way that made it work, you know? I do like the fact that there are 13 boss fights in the game, because there are 13 villains in the game. I like that they stuck to that. I like that they stuck to their guns on that. Like, yep, it's gonna be 13 boss fights, you know. And, you know, to their credit, they did find a way to make it so that you can fight all 13 of the bosses work without it being too much, you know. So from a gameplay standpoint, it's really nice. You know what? Like, visually, gameplay, amazing. I give it a 9. There's certain things in it that I don't like, but it's still it looks good. It looks really, really good. Hold on, let me check. There's a trophy associated with the Frozen World that I need to check out. I'm sorry, I know this blue screen is really, really boring, but I need to know what this is so I'd never have to go back into Arendelle ever again. 600,000. Like, they even got like fucking Idina Menzel and Kristen Bell to be in this, and all they did was make them say the same lines and sing the same songs all over again. They could have given them new lines to do. Race to the foot of the mountain, collecting prizes and bonuses to rack up as high a score as you can. No damage bonus, time bonus, and score multiplier. Until you found all of the treasure prizes for a special reward. Okay.
Oh, what? Here we go!
And we're off. Yahoo!
Boy.
This is great!
Sorry, I'm just so focused right now.
This is great!
Oh, that's how you get the score multiplier, I guess. Ugh.
All right. All right.
Wow!
Ow.
Careful, Sora! Wow!
There's so many obstacles on the way down here.
We made it.
Oh boy. I guess we should do that again. I do enjoy that they were trying to set up for a sequel now, so that there is like that intent to continue the series, and it's not gonna feel like they're trying to, I don't know. The ending in the game was a little depressing, to be honest, for a second, and then they ran it back and they made it cool, but now I have to play The World Ends With You just to get an understanding for that. But I don't know, I just... So the theory online seems to be that, Kairi died for realsies, and then joined the Reapers game. And so Sora went to go save her, and got himself stuck there in the process. Which that seems to be the prevailing theory. Oh, I didn't make it.
Yes, a new record.
Oh, cool. That's all I needed. I didn't get a single treasure? What do the treasures look like then? Okay. Well, I don't want to do that right now. Now... There is a website that tells me how to get all the Ultimate Weapon stuff. Oh, fuck me. Orichalcum Fly plus 5 location is collecting all 10 treasures while playing the Frozen Slider minigame in Arendelle. Fuck. Okay, I guess we're staying. I'll continue like Kingdom Hearts 3 spoiler discussions in a more concise video where I'm not trying to focus on collecting material pieces. But I feel like just to before we even continue, I feel like just to summarize my points on it, it's just that the Disney worlds feel a little bit nonsensical and unnecessary, and doesn't tie into the plot enough for me to warrant caring about the individual plot in each world. And as a result, it makes me feel like they focused a lot on making the game look better than actually being written better, you know? Cause look how expensive the ice here is. But does that add any sort of substance to, you know? Like, how did Roxas come out? Why did he choose to come out then and only then at the end of the game? Did Vexen and Demix just fly over the Keyblade graveyard and drop the dummy? You know? I don't get it. Like, where did he come from? Where did that dummy come from? I thought for a second he was using the dummy that was left in Sora's in Riku's boss fight in the other room, and it was already wearing an organization coat, so it makes sense. You know, maybe that's it. But I don't know. I mean, they also mentioned that they had an extra body for Naminé, and they mentioned that that body that was left with Riku earlier was for Naminé. So I don't know. It feels a little messy, to say the least. But here, let's give this a shot. I guess. Or I don't know. I kind of don't want to go through all this on stream, actually. As far as the ending bit with Sora goes, I thought that was interesting. The fact that he literally died and then died again, you know, it just kind of it kind of made me sad, actually. But at the same time, it's like I like the little effect there is on her what is that, like, cloak. It actually looks like real fabric. What am I doing? I have a camera. This thing looks really nice, actually. I like that. I hope that the next game comes out in a timely manner, and I hope now that the next entry in the series doesn't have to be bogged down by, you know, like Xehanort and all that they can start over and create a story. Because right now there's two plot points that are going forward. One is with Xigbar in the box, right? That's a potential story, and a part of the ending sequence kind of implied that Riku and Namine were going to be the new main characters of the game. You know, Roxas ended up with Shion, and Riku ended up with Namine. I think the implications of the end of the game kind of show off that Riku will be the main character of the next one, while Sora is off doing his little adventures wherever the fuck he ended up in, which is Shibuya, it looks like, from The World Ends With You. And you can see that because in the Yozora trailer, the Shibuya 104 building exists, which is not accurate to real life. That was a change made for The World Ends With You. But I don't know. I just I like the prevailing theory of Sora died and now he's playing the Reaper's game to come back to life. I like that. But how does that tie into a Kingdom Hearts game? I don't know. Maybe it's the World Ends With You game. Who knows? And how does that work? It's gonna be the one world. It's gonna be Shibuya. There's not gonna be any Disney characters in it, you know? Which would be fine. I feel like the further we stray from the Disney worlds, I feel like the better Kingdom Hearts will get, you know? Have Kingdom Hearts 3 be the last, like, kind of celebration of Disney and Square Enix collaboration, where, look, you have all the pretty world. You have Toy Story, you have Frozen, you have Pirates of the Caribbean in there. It looks great, and that's all this game needs to be, you know? But I think after this, I think we all need to start being honest with ourselves, in that, do we really care about the Disney characters in the game? Do we really care about the Final Fantasy characters in this game? I feel like after 17 years, Kingdom Hearts has shown off that it can stand on its own legs and show that it can tell its own story without having to rely on these characters. Like this Ice Palace here, I feel like is a perfect interpretation of the Disney involvement in the process. And that, look, it looks really pretty, it looks really nice, but you can't even go inside of it. You can't even go inside of it. It's not an interactable. You can see inside of it. They modeled the Frozen fountain in there. That's a sprite. It's a 2D image. It's a JPEG. But there's no substance to it. It's just here to look pretty. And I feel like a lot of the time that's what wow, you can't even walk down the stairs. He can't even walk down the stairs. He keeps falling. I think after 17 years, Kingdom Hearts has proven itself that it can tell its own story without having to worry about being bogged down by Disney, you know? And the fact that the original plot of Kingdom Hearts 1 had nothing to do with Disney anyway, it just so happened to be that there is a Disney world in it, kind of tells me all I needed to know, you know? I don't think the next one requires Disney's involvement in it, you know? But if the appeal of it is still that we're gonna have Disney Worlds, then pick better ones. Pick ones where you can fuck with the story. Don't have it be this, like, it's a popular thing, so we're gonna make a world out of it. It just feels shallow. Have a game where the worlds are, like, thematically appropriate, you know? I like the Tarzan world in Kingdom Hearts 1 because 1, I like Tarzan, but 2, it was thematically appropriate. It was Sora trying to find his friends, and then Tarzan trying to trust these new people that came into his home, you know? I like I like that the Mulan world is thematically appropriate to Kingdom Hearts 2, you know? Just kind of like being your best self, I guess. I don't know. I like the theme. I like it when the Disney worlds are consistent with the story that you're trying to tell, not just because it looks pretty, you know. Not to say that because it looks pretty it's a bad game. It's not a bad game. It's a good game. It's just told poorly. And it can be that. And I can still like it. And the fact that I like Kingdom Hearts so much is why I'm criticizing it so much. Because I wanted this game to do well. And it is doing well. It's just that I feel like the end of the game could have been handled a little bit better. You know? Because if you ignore certain parts of it, yeah, it's a really great story to tell. Kind of like, you know, like Sora sacrificing himself to save Kairi, which is fine. But, you know, it's like... like how we got here, and like, oh god, the villain motivations, which is I have issues with some of it, but I don't know. I feel like I need to organize my thoughts a bit better. I thought I could do this. I thought I could go do the ultimate weapon while I'm doing this. Not get the ultimate weapon, because god no, because part of the ultimate weapon, by the way, the requirements is to get 80 out of the 90 lucky emblems, and I'm at 31, I think. The one that I took a picture of in San Francisco earlier, that was 31. Yeah, I got all of these guys. But look, I got none here. Yeah. But yeah, that's all I got for now. I'm gonna shut the stream off just because I'm tired. But thanks for sticking with me. Oh look, there's the glossary is done. And so are the character files. I don't know, but we'll see where the game is headed, where this year's is headed. Just because it's I'll say that I'm still very much excited for the next one. All my oh god, we know it's ephemer. I know who it is. Stop putting question marks in it. I don't know. Maybe we'll see. Because they did mention DLC in the game too. Like a final mixed version of the game would just be DLC. So maybe that little teaser they had could just be DLC set in Shibuya, and you know, and then that can be a lead up to the next game. I don't know, like a 0.2 style DLC. I would gladly pay like $20-$30 for that. Because you know they're gonna sell for $30. It should be like 10, but you know they're gonna sell for 30. And you know what? Part of me is just okay with that. Just right now, I'm just like, just give me more. Just let me experience this more, because despite my criticisms of it, I still want to play the game. And honestly, the reason why I'm criticizing it so much is because I'm so interested in the game. I want to play it some more. You know, but that's it from me. I'm gonna shut the stream off. I'm gonna do this, and that's it. I'm gonna try to create a nice edited video of of this of Kingdom Hearts 3 while I talk over it. I don't know. Maybe, or maybe I'll just write up a script and then just have the game on in the background and record a video like that. I don't know, whichever. But first I want to get all my thoughts collected before I talk about it any further, because I've already said a lot of what I said, of what it's on my thoughts right now. But we'll see. But for now, I'm gonna sign off. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the future. That's I messed up. Hold on. There you go. That's it. Thank you all so much for watching. Have a good evening, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!